solved cases with the most insane twists that you've ever heard. We're gonna see if we can predict the twist here. Let's have a look.
North Epping, New South Wales, Australia. The Lynn family lived relatively comfortably, as Min Lynn, the family's patriarch, was a news agency proprietor and ran a family-owned news agency. With his wife Yu Lynn, the family had 3 children, 9-year-old Terry, 12-year-old Henry, and 15-year-old June Brenda Lynn. Also at the home was Yoon's sister Irene Lynn. The family was clearly close, as they lived together
and worked
together. The news agency even purportedly employed Min Lynn's sister Kathy. Though everything appeared to be going well for the Lynn family, that was about to take a gruesome turn.
It was one of the kids. It's gotta be one of them as the murderer, right? It's either one of the kids or it was the mother.
On the morning of July 18th, 2009,
well, that's not even that long ago.
Husband, Leon Ben Robert Shia, went to the newspaper agency, only to find it closed. This was highly unusual, as the Lynns were always punctual and took their business seriously, as it supported their entire family. Concerned, Kathy and Robert went to the Lynn house to see if they could track down Min and Yoon. What they found would haunt them for years.
Oh god, here we go. Here we go.
Unnervingly, they found the front door to the Lynn family's house open.
Oh no.
Going upstairs, the two noticed speckles of what looked like blood on the walls and in the hall between the bedrooms.
It's not jam.
As they looked closer, they found
Okay, I revise my previous assumption. I think it was a murder-suicide where the mom killed the kids, the husband, and then herself.
The bedrooms were covered in blood spatter from the floors all the way to the ceilings. A terrified Kathy called for the police, barely able to make out the words, "I think someone murdered my brother's family." But the nightmare only got worse. They then saw the bodies, or rather, what remained of the bodies.
No, dude, if this, I don't know if I could go in. I try to picture myself in this kind of situation. First of all, it's devastating. It's actually horrible. But also, I don't know if I could go in. If there was blood everywhere, it would scar you for life. You can't go back. Once you see it, there is no unseeing it. It is in your nightmares. When you close your eyes to go to bed at night, you will see this picture. There's some things that curiosity just isn't worth.
The faces of the victims were so marred that when the police and paramedics arrived at the scene, forensic analysis had to be used to identify each of the victims.
What? What happened?
Eventually,
No, don't say cannibalism. Don't say cannibalism.
It was determined that the victims were Min, Yoon, Terry, Henry, and Irene. All 5 had been bludgeoned with a hammer. Though
hammer?
4 had also been strangled.
What?
The only one to survive was Brenda, but she hadn't been home at the time of the slaying.
Was it like
She
a
had been
random
on
person?
School trip, and this likely saved her life.
Oh, was Brenda one of the kids? No.
Horribly, the news of the gruesome murder broke before Brenda was contacted, and she
Who was
learned
it?
about the deaths of her entire family through a news article.
Okay, well, it couldn't have been one of them then, because it's not like you can just like do yourself in with a hammer. I was thinking if it was a gun, then you turn the gun on yourself at the end. But if it's a hammer, then I don't think it was a murder-suicide anymore. I can't even imagine. It must have just been like a random person? Was it a neighbor?
As an investigation began, Kathy and Robert stepped in to take over the Lynn's newspaper agency business. As well, Brenda, who was completely alone in the world now,
That's
was
so
placed into their
devastating.
custody.
At least she had family to go to, and she didn't go to like the system or someone who doesn't care about her. At least she had family to go
Robert was
to.
noted to be especially eager to gain custody of Brenda in order to care for her after the loss of her family.
Wait, what? No. Please don't tell me this is where I think this is going. He was especially eager. No. Did Robert kill the family so that he could yoink the kid? He would have known when she was away on a school trip so that he could go and take them out and then take the... Oh, no.
In fact, just hours after the bodies were discovered, Robert had offered to adopt Brenda.
Okay, to play devil's advocate for a second, if that had just happened and you knew that there was one kid left, the right thing to do would be to be like, we can take care of her. We can take her in. This is a horrible thing that's just happened to her. She's probably gonna want to be with family. To just be devil's advocate. I hope this is not going where I think it is.
There were no leads into the identity of the Lynn family's killer, but evidence was starting to pile up.
Like what?
The house showed no evidence of a break-in.
Oh,
which
they let him
police
in.
Believed indicated that the killer had a key.
Or he had a key.
As well, nothing in the house had been broken or stolen, which meant that the motive for entering the house was likely
just to kill them.
only to kill the Lynn family.
Oh no.
There were 24 bloody footprints, which told investigators that they were looking for one killer, and they knew that the killer had worn Asics sneakers. But here's the really interesting twist in this case.
Wait, there's
the
another one?
forensic evidence, specifically the bloody footprints, indicated that the killer never entered Brenda's room.
Because he knew she wasn't there. Oh no, dude. Oh, that's devastating. He literally went in and killed the family. How do you kill an entire family with a hammer? That feels like he must have been like really strong. That's like a lot without any of them being able to run away. I feel like once you start engaging with one of them, like they're gonna start screaming. There's gonna be cries for help. People are gonna be running around. How do you, oh my
But
God.
why not? If the entire family had been killed, certainly the killer would have looked for Brenda in order to make her a victim as well.
Unless he wanted to
But
adopt
the
her.
fact that Brenda's room was never entered indicated something important. The killer knew she wasn't home.
Why did he kill the kids? I mean, you could have done in the adults. Why'd you kill the kids? Oh my God. I mean, I guess because they were there and they would report him. Oh, that's so nasty.
This fact seriously narrowed down the possible suspects. Another red flag soon caught the attention
No
of
witnesses.
investigators.
Oh, it's so
To
horrid.
be honest, hearing this one really gave me the chills.
It was Robert, wasn't it?
When they listened back to Kathy's initial phone call to police, they took the time to translate something she'd been yelling frantically to Robert in Cantonese. Well, it turns out she had been desperately pleading with him not to leave her alone in the house. But oddly enough, her husband did exit the home, not seeming to have a single worry about whether or not the killer could still be in the home with his helpless wife. Things were starting to come together. What if Robert had known Kathy would be perfectly safe because the only merciless killer around was himself? Of course.
Wait, okay, I was getting confused with the family members. I thought it was like the uncle. Is this the dad? Did the dad kill the I thought it was an uncle that killed the dad, the mom, and the two kids. Yeah, Robert was the uncle.
It was
Okay.
just a theory at that point, and not enough concrete evidence to make a case. But when officials planted a pinhole camera inside Robert's home, and he
Dude,
was
they
observed
snuck on
cutting
him.
up an Asics shoebox and flushing the pieces down a toilet, suspicion quickly turned on him. Forensic investigators
What's with the
examined
quality
a
on that?
stain found in the garage of Robert's house, and it was uncovered that it contained DNA from 4 of the 5 Lynn family victims.
For the
Robert was arrested
oh my
soon
God.
after this shocking discovery. But what motive could have driven Robert to kill his wife's entire family so brutally?
Well, he wanted to steal the kids. That's why.
Well, prosecutors alleged that one of Robert's main motivations was Brenda.
Yeah, he wanted to yoink the
That's
kid.
right. Robert was allegedly attracted to his young niece.
No! I thought he was just like, I want the kid for myself because I want to be their parent or something. Oh my God! You can't. Why? Nonce Patrol, where are they? Ring a ding ding. Throw away the key, man. I want to find the deepest, darkest hole for this guy. Shove him in it.
It was then Brenda reportedly told investigators that her uncle Robert had been allegedly assaulting her before the murder of her family. And
Oh
that it
my
had
God.
only continued after she moved into his home under his custody. During trial, a picture was painted of a man who, in his
Oh, imagine being the perspective of Brenda. Your entire family's just been bludgeoned to death and you have to move in with the person that's been diddling you the entire time.
need to possess his niece, was driven to kill an entire family.
This is the worst human being. Like, I don't know. Obviously, there's people that start wars and stuff. They're pretty bad. You know, all the big war stars out there. That's awful stuff. But someone who kills their own family just so they can steal their familiar relation to diddle a child, that's the worst person. That you can't. It's very difficult to be worse than that.
Though this is clearly the kind of case that makes headlines, it wasn't so cut and dry in reality. After 2
Wait, what? It
abandoned
wasn't?
trials and a third trial that ended in a hung jury, it was the 4th jury that found Robert guilty in 2017.
2017.
Robert still maintains that he is innocent of any crime.
I mean,
uncovered
what are you
today's
gonna say?
next
At that point, you're not gonna. You've murdered an entire family. You're also a child abuser. You can't admit because you'll just get killed in prison. If people know that you're a kitty toucher in prison, it's over. Like you're just gonna die. They have to put you into solitary confinement by yourself all day because you can't be mixed in with the general people, because even the most heinous criminals, even the leaders of every most terrible gang, even the worst serial killers, they all understand that diddle kiddles need to be taken out. They all do. You can't do that in jail.
Steering my research into the Lynn family murders, and though they both feature family tragedy, the twists couldn't be more different. Where the Lynn family was discovered almost immediately, the fate of the McStay family was a mystery.
All right, we're on to the McStay family, guys. I don't know how you. I really don't know how you follow that one up.
Well,
this is insane.
almost. The McStay family lived in Fallbrook, northern San Diego, and was made up of 40-year-old Joseph McStay, his wife, 43-year-old Summer McStay, and the couple's 2 preschool sons, 4-year-old Gianni and 3-year-old Joey Jr. Joseph worked as an entrepreneur who sold indoor water fountains.
That's a really specific business, but it's oddly one that will always have business. So, it's like being an electrician. Everyone's always going to need electricity, and everyone's always going to need to be hydrated.
The family was known for being characteristically happy and successful.
Yeah, this is the white picket fence. This is the Texas Ranch family. This is the I'm going to go and make some apple pie, and then my husband's gonna come home from work, and then we're gonna go down to the local fair, get some tater tots, and find some natural lemonade.
This wouldn't last. By mid-February 2010, it became glaringly clear that something was wrong with the McStay family. None of the family
water fountain
members
sales
had been heard from since the 4th, which was highly unusual. When the house was investigated, food was discovered on the counters just left where it had been dropped, and it was now rotten.
No, not food waste.
The treasured family dogs were found left outside in the cold.
Are they okay?
Something
Are they okay?
completely unusual for the family who
the
loved
dog's okay.
animals to have carelessly done.
They're okay though, right?
Yet despite these concerns,
Okay, I'm gonna assume that the dogs are okay, so at least that's good. That's good.
There was no sign of forced entry at all. The house was locked, besides a small window. There was no evidence of a struggle and not even a trace of violence. As well, because there was no suspicious activity on their credit cards, it ruled out the possibility of a robbery. What there was evidence of, though, was that the family had left the house in a hurry and of their own free will. As a search began for the McStay family.
Oh no, I think I know where this is going. The parents are colluding to kill the kids, right?
Their Isuzu Trooper was soon found where it had been abandoned in San Ysidro, the U.S.-Mexico border.
Did they just scop it to Mexico? Oh my god, wait, I have a new theory. The dad was in debt to the cartel. No, well then why would he go to Mexico? Yeah, the dad was in debt to the cartel, and they told him if they don't want to get yoinked, if they don't want to get like that, then they need to come to Mexico and be their work people, and they have to do it right now. They have to go to Mexico right now, or maybe they're trying to escape a gang that is in the city. Either way, they're in debt to someone and they need to run away because the people they're in debt to are very dangerous.
A theory arose to explain the family's absence, that they had intentionally gone over the border, but once there, they met a tragic but unknown fate. This theory made sense. They might have gone away because investigators couldn't understand how a family with no known enemies and who were widely regarded as loving could have met a more sinister end. However, family members disagreed that they would have left without telling anyone. The case went cold. Something? Had the McStay family simply vanished, never to be found?
They're running away from something.
Wouldn't come for close to 4 years. It wasn't until November 2013 when this case had its first twist. A dirt biker riding through the desert outside Victorville made a grim discovery.
Oh, they're gonna find body, aren't they?
Was something white, almost like a stone.
Bones.
When the dirt biker came closer, they realized that it wasn't a stone at all, but a skull. Horrifically, the skull was too small to belong to an adult and had to have been a child's.
Okay, revising my prediction again. I think the parents just went insane and they took their kids out into the wilderness to just kill them.
When investigators came to have a look, they found that the skull wasn't alone. They uncovered a shallow grave.
They took out the kids and then they took themselves out.
Bodies. 2 adults and 2 small children. It was the McStay family.
That must have been what happened.
But the bodies weren't alone. Also tucked within the grave was a sledgehammer. The McStay family had been beaten to death.
Oh my god.
Joseph was found with an electrical cord wrapped around his neck, while Gianni bore the evidence of at least 7 blows to his skull.
It was a gang. It was either a gang or a cartel. They owed someone money. They tried to run away. They got caught. I'm going back to my original prediction now. They owed someone money. They owed someone a lot. They tried to run away. They got caught and then...
DNA
it was not murder-suicide.
A McStay family member was soon found on the steering wheel and shift gear of the car.
Yup.
Along with a cell phone pinged near the gravesite a few days after the McStays had gone missing.
Dude, they got the kids.
Both belonged to Charles Chase Merritt.
Who's that?
Looking back, investigators realized that when Merritt, a welder, was interviewed about the McStays just 2 weeks after their disappearance, he had continued to use past tense.
Oh, dude, he's self-reported?
By saying he was my best friend. Merritt had been Joseph's business partner, But there was evidence that
His
before
business
death,
partner?
Joseph had begun to sideline Merritt. Investigators believe that Merritt had allegedly been stealing from the McStay's company and that he owed Joseph almost $43,000.
$43,000? Okay, $43,000, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. That is not kill family money. That is not murder the kids money. That's insane. Like, what if you're trying to get someone killed? How much is a life worth?
But what doesn't make sense is how Merritt could have killed the entire McStay family without any evidence of a struggle.
Why did they run away?
To their deaths.
No, of course not.
At his trial, Merritt broke down in tears and professed his innocence, saying, "I don't deserve this. I did not do this." In 2020,
but his DNA was on the stuff.
A decade after the McStay family vanished and was brutally killed, Merritt was found guilty of 4 counts of murder. He was sentenced to life in prison for killing Joseph, but for Summer and the 2 children's murders, he was sentenced to death.
Oh my
I
God.
have saved the story with the most unexpected twists.
What if it wasn't him? Like, what if separately there was like I might just be making up conspiracy theories. What if it wasn't him? And my original theory of there being a gang that they owed money to that they needed to run away from, maybe that was correct. Because why would they run out of the house? Why would they flee the house from just that one guy? If there was no evidence that they were threatening or they were being threatened by him, if there was no evidence of any kind of actual, lead up to I'm gonna kill this guy, apart from, he took $43,000. Why would they run away from the house? That's what's confusing me here. They ran away from the house, and then he caught up with them out on the Mexico border and then got them with a sledgehammer? I don't know. That seems crazy.
Last. In 1986, 15-year-old Annie Andrews, who lived in Pepperell, Massachusetts, started receiving phone calls from a stranger.
Oh no.
She wasn't particularly
a 15-year-old receiving phone calls from a stranger. There's no way this ends well.
Because the
Obviously it
stranger
doesn't.
on the other end was a boy around her age named Daniel. Annie is a trusting young girl.
What?
Didn't
No.
question the calls as much as
Hold
she
up.
probably should have.
Hold up. Okay, I want to defeat the Daniel being a criminal allegations immediately. Just because he's called Daniel, that doesn't mean anything, okay? Just because that Daniel is generally a good name. We do not claim this guy.
She assumed that a friend must have given Daniel her number. Daniel called frequently to talk.
I hate how they have my name.
See him.
I hate it.
She had to rely on his description of himself to imagine what he was like.
His description, he's like, yeah, I'm like 6'4", I'm fucking massive, I got 15 biceps on my eyeballs, I'm huge, babe, let's just come and check me out. Actually, he's balding. He's in his mid-30s. He's wearing a suit and a tie.
Daniel told Annie that he was a tall, blonde,
but not a nice,
good-looking and athletic guy.
Of course he did.
So when he asked her on a date...
Wait, did he actually use those words? Like, so what do you look like? I'm a tall, blonde, athletic, and good-looking guy. Oh, that sounds good. That's great.
Annie agreed.
He's definitely not a 15-year-old boy.
This case ends with Annie's tragic demise, as many of these sad stories go, but you would be very wrong.
Oh?
The boy who met Annie for the date was not at all who she was expecting.
Okay.
The boy who introduced himself as Danny wasn't tall. Instead, was about 5'8" and thin, and he wasn't blonde. Instead, he had greasy dark hair and thick, untamed eyebrows. Daniel was awkward and had a noticeable lack of hygiene. None of which was helped by the fact that he had lied to Annie. Still, they went on the date and attended a local fair.
That's crazy. I guess back in the day, like, if you're how did she get there? They met up, which I mean, she didn't drive herself, obviously. And he clearly was gonna be old. He's probably like 25 years old. He's gotta be.
It was while walking along the fairgrounds, among the flashing lights and the smell of greasy food, that Annie mentioned that her mother had died of cancer.
That's a crazy thing to mention at the fair.
Hearing this, Daniel's eyes appeared to light up, and he became incredibly interested, not in comforting the grieving girl as one would imagine, but instead incessantly asking her invasive questions about the death. He mostly wanted to know how much Annie's mother had suffered.
Okay,
Annie,
what?
disturbed by this, and upset that Daniel had lied to her about who he was, declined to go on a second date with him.
As you would do, the natural response.
And that's where the story should have ended, but it didn't.
Oh no.
Annie went home to her father Brian and her younger sister Jessica, who was 8 at the time. It was soon after her date with Daniel that Annie and Jessica both started to notice strange things happening around the house.
Ghosts?
Late at night, the 2 girls would hear tapping on the walls.
No.
You can't blame the girls, who had just lost their mother, for considering that the...
Bro, there's no way. Wait, is he gonna do like a really morbid prank where he pretends to be a ghost? He's just gonna pretend to be a ghost. He's gonna run around the house being like, ooh. and say like, Annie, Annie, and run around and just like do horrible things like that.
Noises could be.
I hope that that's as far as it goes. I just don't want there to be another murder. That's all.
This wasn't helped.
No, he's gonna live in the attic. I'm sorry I'm pausing so much. I feel he's gonna live in the attic.
The fact that Brian, as a suddenly single parent, had to work more to support the family and was frequently out of the house, leaving the girls alone. Some stories say that the girls held a seance to conjure the spirit of their mother.
Oh, that is so sad, but also really scary, dude. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't believe in ghosts whatsoever. I have like a logical mind of I'm scared of things that are real. People are real. I'm scared of people because they do real things. I'm not scared of ghosts because I don't believe them to be real. I'm not scared of monsters or oogly booglies or anything like that. But in a dark room with a Ouija board, I'm gonna be scared. Not because I believe that ghosts are real, just because it's scary.
But this has never been verified. The strange tapping continued. It woke them in the middle of the night, and
oh
soon
God,
the
it's
girls
him.
were hardly sleeping at all. Then things started to move around the house.
Dude, he's literally cosplaying
Food
a
would
ghost.
vanish from counters within minutes of being put there. They told their father it was a ghost. He was unconvinced. But then the writing started. One night while the girls were alone, they reportedly heard the tapping again, this time from below. The girls crept downstairs and, in the basement, found something scrawled on the wall. The message reportedly read,
It read, I'm tall, blonde, athletic, and good looking. Ooh, I'm not greasy.
I'm in your room, come and find me.
Oh no! I hate it. I hate that so much. No, absolutely not. If I'm playing a horror game and it says that, I'm like, no, it's okay. I can play another game. I can play Teletubbies. That's fine. If this happens in real life, I'm burning the house down. It is flamethrower time. Absolutely not. Please tell me that they ran out of the house. Please tell me that you did not take your 8-year-old daughter. Oh, they think it's the mother, don't they? They literally think it's the mother. They think it's a ghost. Oh no, I hate this so much.
It looked to be written in blood.
Whose blood?
This understandably freaked them out.
Obviously.
2 weeks
And they ran out of the
later,
house.
The next message was written in
2 weeks late. Where did they go? Did they just go to sleep on the couch?
Annie's bedroom. I'm back. Find me if you can. Terrified that they were being haunted, the girls called and told their father. Though he didn't quite believe them, he came home to put their fears to rest. As he entered Annie's bedroom, Brian made a shocking discovery.
Dude, this is literally reminding me of that one horror story that I heard years and years and years back, where a babysitter goes to take care of this kid and she sees like a clown statue in the corner and she's really freaked out by the clown statue, but it's just a clown statue. She continues to babysit the kid and it's fine until like 2 a.m, where she calls up the family and is like, yeah, everything's fine, the kid's fine. But the clown statue is really kind of unnerving. And the people on the other end are like, what clown statue are you talking about? And then the story just ends there. That freaks me out. I hate that kind of stuff. But Brian made a shocking discovery. Oh God, here we go.
Standing in his daughter's room was someone with long blonde hair, wearing a dress that had belonged to his deceased wife. When the person turned, he realized, shockingly, that it was a young man, wearing a wig and makeup and holding a hatchet. He attempted to attack Brian, but he managed to fight him off. And of course, call the police. Investigators found the boy in the Andrews house, hiding within the crawl space. It became abundantly clear that the boy had been living in the walls of the house for months. He was arrested and charged with a variety of crimes. The young man was allegedly...
This is real? How is this real? That is terrifying. This is why I'm glad I have a small house. No one can live in the walls of my house because I'm home all day and I would know if someone is here, and I have a small house. So you can't even really get around. I hate big houses because of this, because you can't monitor every part of your big house unless you have like cameras everywhere. I hate big houses, especially old big houses. Ones with crawl spaces like this, a nightmare. I hate that.
Daniel LaPlante. To be clear, the exact details of this story have become a little less clear with how many times it has been retold and dramatized over the years.
Wait, this is a real story though?
For instance, in some versions, people say that the intruder was actually dressed as a Native American instead of a woman.
What? Why?
Either way, as the facts aren't 100% clear at this time, please be aware that these are merely allegations. Daniel had allegedly been the ghost harassing Annie for months after she had rejected him, which might be one of the more extreme reactions to being rejected that I've ever heard of.
Jesus Christ. People will be like, why do women play around? Why do women say that they want to go on a date and then they actually delete my number? Or why do women give a fake number? This is why they give a fake number. This is why they will be like, oh yeah, no, we can meet up again, and then never talk to you ever again. Because motherfuckers like this. Jesus Christ. No wonder. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I think that most men don't understand that from the position that we are in just like societal terms, it is much less likely that someone is going to be a creep and stalk you and potentially murder you. But if you're a woman, that chance goes up by like 100 times. So it's way safer to just act pleasant, and then if you don't want to interact with someone, and then just try and cut off all contact, than to be straight up to someone's face, because the chance of something horrible happening to you afterwards is so much higher. And the chance of a woman's not doing this. I mean, maybe they would actually. The chance is much lower. It could still technically happen. A woman could still technically do this, but the chance is much, much lower.
But apparently this wasn't all that unusual. Well,
what?
It was, but not for Daniel.
What?
You see, before he began harassing the Andrews, he had an alleged history of breaking into people's houses and stealing, but reportedly, he also immensely enjoyed moving things around in people's homes to let them know that he had been there without it being obvious.
Dude, what a weirdo.
After being arrested, Daniel stayed at a juvenile's facility for about a year before he was released. It was only a month before he went back to his old ways, though this time, he went even further. He broke into his neighbor's home where he found and allegedly stole 2 handguns. Okay, so while the details are a little fuzzy on Daniel's alleged time living in the walls, he was about to do something far more dark and insidious. And in this case, the facts are crystal clear.
He got released after a year, and he immediately broke into someone's house and found their guns. He's incredible. Dude, he's got like sneak level 100. He has insane lockpicking skills.
Spurred by his first crime since being set free, Daniel, now armed, decided to enter someone else's home uninvited.
Wow, shocker. Dude, get a new playbook, man. You're getting boring. You're getting old. You're getting repetitious. Get a new one. Find something new, dude.
From his house, he made his way into the home of 33-year-old Priscilla Gustafson, a pregnant church nursery school teacher.
A pregnant church nursery school teacher. That is like every single piece of wholesome that you can possibly find. That is every bit of niceness in the world. I don't know, maybe not church.
At the time, she was home alone with her 2 children, 7-year-old Abigail and 5-year-old William. Daniel attacked Priscilla and assaulted her before allegedly shooting her multiple times at point-blank range. He purportedly left her laying face down on her bed, with her pillows covered in blood. Daniel proceeded to attack and drown the 2 children. Leaving each of them in separate bathrooms. As a manhunt ensued to find the Gustafsons' killer, Daniel's reign of terror continued.
Oh no,
While on the run, Daniel went a few towns over from Townsend and allegedly kidnapped a woman at gunpoint, forcing her to drive him around in her Volkswagen van. But the lucky woman managed to escape on foot and told the police of the incident. Police attention turned to Daniel LaPlante. After days of searching, they found him in one of the most unlikely places. Not the walls of someone's house, as you may suspect.
He was just anywhere outside of the walls of someone's house is a crazy place to find him. It's like, he spends 99% of his life in the walls of someone's house. Dude, this is fucking crazy. Why? Why did they let him out after a year? I mean, I guess he was 17, so he's under the age that you could get charged properly, but he was living in someone's house for months and threatening them and then attempted murder. Why did they let him out?
But
where is this kid's parents?
At a lumber yard.
Oh.
Though he was arrested without incident, he disturbed the arresting officers by allegedly laughing maniacally all the while.
Bro, this kid ain't right, man. This kid is not right. He's
at a trial in
1988.
Gotta
try again.
LaPlante was convicted of the triple murder and given 3 life sentences. Is it
Jesus Christ
really a big shock that the guy who lived in someone's walls later became a murderer?
He literally attempted to murder the people that lived in the house that he was living in the walls. He ran with the hatchet. That's why he was put in juvie to begin with. And then they were just like, he's just a kid. You know, boys will be boys. You know, we all did a little bit of living in someone's house when we were young, right? Hey, just let him out. He'll be all right. Hey, he'll grow up. He's only 17. You know, he'll learn. Christ almighty. Well, those were pretty insane twists. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was not prepared for the twist here, but I am prepared for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you want me to react to something, then let me know in the Discord server.